Good evening. Can you hear me okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
So let's just take a moment to receive the energy in the field. As you are aware that there are images on the screen, but there is nobody on the screen. There's nobody there on that screen in front of you. But there are images, and you can sense the energy that is vibrantly alive here. So just as your own image on the screen is not you, just receiving all of the energy here. And let's close the eyes a moment. And you notice that when the eyes close and the images have gone, and you sink with your attention back. To rest in yourself. Allowing yourself to sink all the way back. And whatever the storyline of your particular life stream is right now, that storyline that moves through your thinking process, whatever that is, being willing to just let go of it, let it fall away. Falling into just being here now, not waiting for anything. Just simply resting back in your own being. Yeah, you're giving yourself the space just to be. And falling deeper into what this being is actually made of. and to fall back into a deeper intimacy with yourself. It is really a deeper intimacy with all existence. Come here, come here. To fall into a deeper intimacy with and as existence, it requires that you take your hands off the wheel. You loosen the grip. Of what you think you have. It's much like dying. If you ever could, for one moment, imagine what it's like to die. It might be similar to when you fall into sleep every night. You have to give up. And how sweet it is to let go. Yeah. there comes a moment when it's like you cross over. And space, more and more space, begins to open. You let go of the attachment to the thought of I am this person with this life. You just let go of that whole attachment to that as if you're dying. And as more and more space opens, the whole sky is yours. In which to fly. The sky of being. Because if you look for yourself in this open space, if you look for what you're calling I, what do you find? I am the one in which all this space appears. and there is no edge, no beginning, no end to what I am. This body, this physical body, is a sensation. And this is ageless and timeless. And this is that in me before any gender. It is before the body, during and after. And this has seen every event of the life of this body, and yet it has never changed. Nothing ever hurt this. And this is what I cannot lose. This is free. It has nothing to do with thought. Cannot be understood. Can you let go a little more into the open sky? Like dying a little more. So even when the physical body is sick, this is well. Even when the physical body is restricted and challenged, this is free. So free that it has agreed to a human incarnation, has agreed to come and live a limited experience, has taken on this lifetime out of freedom. And in this lifetime, this particular lifetime, is here to recognize itself while being in human form. It is this that recognizes itself. While being in human limited form. here to know itself, to return to itself while living out a human life. Within all the colors of experience. Deeply within this human level, there is a knowing. That I was born free. And this knowing comes directly from the source of existence. Nothing can take that away. If you are knowing this to be true, allow that knowing to seep all through this human body mind. Let that knowing in to every level. Yes. And whatever the experience is being played out in this human life, it is the one you came here for. Where is the end of you and the beginning of where that sound comes from? Where is the end of you and the beginning of anything or anybody? This is where we meet. No end to what I am, and no beginning to what you are. So in a few moments, we will begin to move towards the experience where we appear as separate forms. But before we do that, I just invite you to check in your own experience right now. What is really true? Do you end somewhere? Where is the edge of you? Where do you find it? Where is the boundary? And if you can see that the boundary is where you place it, and if you don't place it, you are endless. And there is this physical body, this earth form, appearing in you like a vehicle in which you travel. But you are not stuck inside this. This is in fact in you. And for a short while, you're being called to be all the way in this form. Embodying more and more and more of the truth of who you are. So let's get a feel of this physical body in space, just like feeling how it is right now, this constant changing sensational experience. It won't last forever. It may last a few weeks, days, years, but the day will come to let go of it. What matters most? In this journey. And what will matter most in the moment of letting go of it? So before we come into the meeting interactively, I invite you to let go into the sweetest peace. And that is not something that can be done. So in your own time, and in your own way, maybe you like a little stretch. Slowly moving towards a moment where these magnificent eyelids Isn't that amazing? Eyelids, they lift up and there is a world. What would you do without eyelids? Mm. 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 Good evening. So welcome. This meeting really was called to welcome everybody to this the beginning of this beautiful community we're building, born to be free, and an offering to bring everybody together. And so I put out on the community platform, I put out a few questions. Yeah, I don't even remember what the questions were now, to be honest. But I kind of vaguely remember a couple of answers, okay? You know, inside every one of you and I, there is this knowing that we were born to be free, that freedom is our truth, that our spirit is free. Yeah, it came here to be free, and nothing should ever be able to take that away. Yeah. So I've been screaming about that since I was 3 years old, right? When I first was told that to go to school I had to wear a little dress and I wanted to wear trousers. That was my first experience of hearing that there was some kind of there were rules that were there to tell me how to be. And for every one of you, you will have met that at some point early in the life and either took it on or struggled with that. And for me, that was really like a major question in those early first years. Like, how can it possibly be that there's someone making the rules? Because look at a little child is a being, just running free, and then there is this molding. No, 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 not like that, like this. And it's necessary conditioning, but at the same time it goes past that, doesn't it? Right? And there we are conditioned into the rules. So in whatever way that's been for you through the life, it's brought you to this moment. Yeah. And yeah, I was standing for that freedom from the beginning, and I'm standing for it now. And with what we're all facing on the display of our human collective experience right now, there's a collective experience in which there is diversity, you know. It's like there are many, with a total control coming over the whole planet, in one way or another you're experiencing it differently, but mostly there are some places, of course, that everything is going on as normal, but for most of us. And then there are all these different opinions about that. There are sides being taken, you know. And there is this like definite division that we're beginning to get more and more aware of. And as more and more of these rules come in, there's a definite like division coming in. All of this is in our consciousness, you know, and for those identified with one position over the other are starting to feel like the righteous one, you know. And then holding the blame to the other side. And then this is how wars are created, right? You know, when we awaken, when what is awake in us awakens to itself. I mean, it's not a person. That was one of the answers to one of the questions, right? So one of the answers to one of the questions was something like, I don't know if it's possible to ever really be awake in this life. It was something like that, right? What I want to say to that is that it's not this person and this personality that awakens. Because in fact, it is fictitious, right? There is no, you have a personality, each one has a personality. That doesn't, when what I call, because now there are many versions of people using the word awakening now, you know, it's getting really watered down and used in ways. So I'll just define how I'm using that, right? I'm talking about what is already free in you, what came here out of freedom, what is free always, regardless, no matter what, that in you which is ageless and timeless, that has never been hurt. I'm talking about that awakening to itself while in the midst of this personality, recognizing itself in the midst of this human thing. I'm not talking about the personality recognizing, oh, I'm beyond all this. Right, so just to define what I'm speaking of. So when this kind of awakening of the self, the true source of existence, that which is sending all the messages all through your system to even like pump blood around the heartbeat, the whole intelligence, that which is the source of all that, awakening to itself. Finding out that there is no, actually, I can't find an entity in here. I can't find someone in here, something in here that is in any way separate to anything else. You know, like life itself. Life doesn't divide anywhere. Life is life, right? So life recognizing itself as life looking through your eyes. So I'm talking about this. So when this awakens to itself, the war is over. The war is over. The war is over because there are not two. That's another thing which has been abused. The word non-duality, right? It's been abused. But what these words originally pointed to, right? When that awakens to itself, the war is over. Because for a war you need two, at least you need two. Even to the mind, that makes sense, yeah? For a war, you need at least two. So when this recognizes itself, the war is over. So then we got this whole situation playing on the surface of our life. And those who are identifying with one side of the what they believe is the right and true thing, and there's this common main narrative that is going through the whole consciousness field, that is believed in and perceived as a reality, and anybody who's not in that become the problem, right? So there's this whole split thing happening, right? And this is where wars begin. And that split, first, it takes place within your own psyche, you know. So, you know, I have my views. Of course I have my views. I have my opinions, of course. And I have innate intelligence guiding me. And I listen to that. That's what I listen to. Right. Still, I go with what that is guiding me, but I don't need to get in a fight or try to make everybody else go my way, or even think that they should do what I'm doing. You know, because we all came here to live out a certain journey, and if that's someone's journey to do like that, let them have their journey. And I'm talking about within your own families, you know. So I feel that it's really important for beings who are awake, and awake in the sense of what I've just described as being awake. Not awake to the fact that there's a scam or da 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 da. Not that kind of awake, but awake to the being, right? That's what I'm talking about. So then there's a place in you which when that is awake, it is like there is a raw movement that comes from that. That is I have always experienced it like a, you know, I'm standing in what is true for me. And I won't be manipulated. And I won't take on any guilt trips. So one of the answers to my question about what would you like to topics for this meeting, one of the question was how can I stand in my own truth in the midst of like everybody telling you you are wrong and you are, you know, like it's like attack. And yeah, that's a pity, right? That's really a pity that yeah, but it's been happening down the ages. It's been happening. I mean, look at even Jesus, you know. He stood in his truth and was on the cross for that. So nowadays it's not one Jesus and it's not one messenger. It's bigger. So on the platform of the marketplace of our coexistence, there is this play going on, and there are laws in place that threaten to take our relative freedom to a certain extent. Yeah, and each one is experiencing that in more or less degrees. And that can bring up rage. Yeah. So the first thing that because I feel it too, you know, I'm not going to say, I don't feel that. Of course I do. Of course I do, you know. The first thing that I want to point to is that even when relative freedom, and my relative freedom is very much compromised at the moment, you know. So I don't, you know, I'm not kind of speaking from a place of not being in the boat. So when relative freedom is threatened and taken, still you are free. What is truly free cannot be taken. And this is really, in the first place, I feel, what allows me to remain at peace in what the intelligence of my system is guiding me to, regardless of what anyone says, of what anyone thinks, of what any doesn't. It's like I stand in that at all costs, right? And what allows me that is because I'm not taking it on. I'm not taking on whatever. So just to speak to that there was a question there about how to stand in your own truth, and this is really where you're being called. You know, your deepest. You're being called to stand in that without the need to enforce the others to think like you. You're being called to stand in your own knowing. And that's a freedom. Since when did everybody have to agree with you? Did you go along like did you go along in life like that, like to fit in? Did you sell your freedom in that way? Ever? Why? Because you wanted to be liked? You don't want people talking about you like that? Did you do that? Well, now's the time. Yeah. So yeah, I want to make it clear that this beautiful platform that I've been moved to put together somehow, Born to be Free. It's inclusive. It's inclusive. So there will be people with different ways of moving through this whole situation, right? It's inclusive. I'm not going to, make this is like one position, and it's like the diversity, the freedom of including whatever one decides for themselves to move how they move with this is welcome. Starting to a war between that is not welcome. So that's my view on that. Yeah. I'm trying to recall the questions that were on that list. That yeah, and there was one. How can I be free within relationship? She said that I experience myself free and la 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 la. I know who I am and da 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 da. But when it comes to getting into intimate relationship, then suddenly I find myself with fear and jealousy and abandonment and rejection, and all this thing is all and that might show up in variations for you in family or in whatever, all those triggers that come up in relationship of two, a parent two. Well, I come back to the same thing over and over and over, and that is that even if there are triggers through the system, even if there are these things, these activations of feeling like needy or abandoned or all that thing that moves through the persona, even with all of that, so what? Do you need all of that to stop and be all kind of like at peace for you to be free? I don't think so. Are you free enough to allow all of that to be touched? Are you free enough to experience all those places from that in you which is ageless and timeless and never been hurt and cannot be lost and cannot be taken? Are you willing to allow that to be in the midst of that human and just experience that fully? No? Why not? Because that's where it gets free. That's where it gets freed up, is in the true meeting. The true meeting is where freedom lives always. So yeah, I can't recall any more of those questions and answers. So I'll invite some interaction. If you'd like to I can't read that. There's someone there. There is a hand. Can you see, Giannis? Can you see the...
Yeah, I think I pinned here. You can talk, I think, Rina.
Rina?
Hello, Ananta.
Hola.
So nice to see you here again.
Hey, where are you? New
I'm
York?
in New York right now.
How
Very
you...
pleased to connect with you virtually like this. Very beautiful, powerful meditation. Your guiding every word was really touching me, and even the questions that you're answering, like, felt like it was something that is active in me as I'm listening. Like this freedom that you speak about it, there is a sense of it, but there is also a sense of like a struggle there. And there is a sense that once I give attention to the struggle, it's like there is a observer who wants to just get rid of it. Like, I don't want this, like I want to go away from this. I want to feel this like spaciousness, awareness, like, oh. And then like there is this contraction in the chest that is so strong, like really, like I don't like the way it feels. Like, no, I should be unconditional. I should just be aware. I should just be aware, and I cannot help it. I just don't like the feeling of all this human like limitations and struggles. So there.
Who likes the feeling of all the human struggle and limitation?
Well, you look like you're fine with that.
No, I don't have to like it. That's the thing. I don't have to like it or not like it. It just is, you know. That's the thing. It's like on the level of my personal self, I have likes and dislikes, of course. Yeah, freely, yeah. But who has to like it? Who has to like the struggle? I don't struggle with what is moving here. That's the thing, is that I don't struggle with the struggle.
Don't struggle.
I don't struggle with the struggle. Right. So what you just said is like you are like the micro of the macro, because if you expand yourself into infinite space, or like wide open, the collective struggle will still move through you. It's a collective struggle. So then when our attention is down to the micro, which is it's a constant changing experience of walking in a human form and being, yeah. So when it's like this, we experience it like the struggle is happening in me. And then when we open and let go and drop and expand, the struggle is collectively moving through all, and we're sharing this. So, what is your commitment in that? And that's really what is important, because we are like, there's a certain amount of beings who are recognizing themselves as a being and not a small, limited, conditioned person. So when we are being is awakening to itself, then this is a movement of light, which is changing a collective frequency, right? If you've got everybody identified in a separate self, that's a density, right? And the more beings that are opening wider than that, wider and wider and wider, that's not so dense. That's more subtle, and opens the door for all dimensions, right? Much bigger than this human life. So with your being awakening to itself, what is your dedication? And that is the only thing that needs to be clear. You don't need to be controlling your moment-to-moment experience to get it right, to be, you know, it's much bigger. Like, what is the commitment of this life for you? And if you clarify your commitment of this life, and you are true to that in increments in the midst of, no matter what, doesn't matter what your experience is. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, but I want it to be different. Yeah.
There is a part of me that wants to make it
Of
different.
course, there's a part of you. Do you want to kick that part out? Why? It's not included. It's not welcome. This is all inclusive. You know, all of the parts that you ever wanted to kick out become welcome to the party. You know, like
But some parts are like really troublemakers here.
troublemaker.
Yeah.
You have some troublemakers in there, yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party. But that troublemaker can do the right kind of trouble, put it to good use. Get really clear for yourself, like if you are getting wrapped up in the little nitty little things, you cannot be available for like I was just saying, like, what is this life all about for you? What is this life commitment? You can't really be available for that if you just focus on, oh, this bit shouldn't be like that, you know?
Yes. But it's like a very strong distractions. Like sometimes like there is this unreasonable like anxiety, that's something I was actually feeling during your guidance, like a really strong sense of fear and anxiety for absolutely zero reason. I'm safe, I'm fine here. And then it's like really takes the attention out and makes all the thoughts, anxious emotions, everything, the world all of a sudden seems very threatening. And it's harder to focus on the spacious awareness because this takes so much space, and that's why there's like desire to take it out.
Sorry. What about, these are sensations, right? And the first thing is, like, does this fear actually belong to you? Are you making it happen? Where is it coming from? What is it?
I have no idea, it just came
Right.
out of
So
nowhere.
unless you are the space of aware that is going to look at this and come to know intimately what get intimate with this sensation, come to know what, you know, like, but no, you're like, this is in my way. I just want this spacious. You see? So there's a split. It's the split, yeah. Because this tendency to pick and choose and control the experience doesn't allow you to have the whole of what is moving through, and it is just moving through. You know, it's moving through. The main point that I feel can be of the most value to say to you is focus on growing space for the experience. Whatever the experience is, grow the space to hold it, to be for it. Because if you're experiencing something you don't want, and you cannot be the space for that, then what value does the space have?
Mm.
It's just a way to get away from what you don't want. And this is not, you know, that's a kind of a mechanism of what the false sense of self is built on. Trying to get away from what you don't want and running for pleasure, right? So can you be the space for all of those movements? Can you grow as the space for all of these movements? Just like the space in the room right now is holding you, is holding your body. It doesn't mind what movement you make with your body, the space is holding you. Huh? So where is the end of you and the beginning of this space in the room?
So I guess when the struggles seem like it's pretty big, and then the space has
now, just now.
Yeah. Yes, right now there is a space which contains everything.
So what is the difference between you and the space which contains everything? So
it seems like there is me who is trying to see where my attention goes, I guess. And that's what separates.
This is your inquiry, you know. This is your inquiry where you separate. And what is it that separates? And the separation begins with a thought. Because if you have no thought, where do you separate from the space that holds this body? And you have been, you know this so well. You go in and out and round, and you've been in self-enquiry for so long that you know it already, right? So you know it, and it's okay to come and experience all over again these little places and use it to look for really what is the truth, not what you know when you know it, but within it.
Yes. Like also a very humbling thing that I've been doing it for so long, and each time it's like fresh again.
It's always fresh. It's always this moment. It's always the invitation. We just have to look for what is true, you know.
Yes, thank you, Ananta, for beautiful
Nice to
reminder.
see you. Nice to see you. Yeah.
Very, very nice to see you. Hope everything is well for you, where you are.
Huh? Yeah.
I hope everything is well for you.
It is what it is. That's all I can say. Huh? It's not Thailand. Okay, I see you soon, yeah? Okay. There was someone else? Artemis.
Hello, Ananta.
Where are you? Hey. Where are you?
I'm in Greece.
Greece. Hello. Have we met before?
Not that I'm aware of. There's no question coming up right now, but I just wanted to sit together for a while and give some space to the heartbeat that is really intense.
The heartbeat is really intense. How is it right now?
Really better, like bearable.
Like what?
Bearable.
So it was feeling unbearable?
Yes, it was feeling like overwhelming at first. And there's this feeling that this insane sensation is connected with the struggling there is when I have to speak my truth or stand in my truth
Yeah,
in the world.
yeah, yeah. And this heart is the connection between being here on this earth and being who you are in your divinity. Yeah, and this meeting point of this human limitation where you are called to stand true in what you know so intrinsically against these energetics have been there down the ages. Imagine how Jesus or each messenger that came and the crowds. What are you here for in this life?
I feel to be the ocean, to acknowledge myself for that.
Yes. Yes. How long have you been feeling this way?
It's like last 4 years, I would say, but it's a journey with the ups and downs.
Yeah. The ups and downs may not stop.
Maybe when death comes, they will stop.
Well, this is what we are learning while walking on this earth, is how to die. Every time that we let go of some attachment to being somebody in a separate identity, every time we are holding on to a position of separation, and we have to let go of it. That is like a dying. The more we die, the more we are,
Yeah. There's also sometimes this feeling of guilt around the pleasure presence brings.
Guilt.
Yes.
Who is guilt belonging to?
I haven't found any so far.
So
But
you notice a sense of guilt. You know, with all that's going on in our play, we are going to get to feel moments of all whatever moving through the anger, the you know, as things get more and more intense, the rage, the anger, the guilt, the whatever can move through. And it's really, really a practice of allowing it to just move through without identifying. Yeah. It looks nice in Greece.
it is. It is nice there. Everywhere, I guess.
Are you connected with Kaifi?
No.
Do you know Kaifi's place?
No, I don't.
Never mind. Okay, nice to meet you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you too. And thank you for the energy and time doing that.
Thank you for your sweetness.
Bye. Thank you very much, Ananda.
Bye. Mm. So yeah, we really are in this together. You know, regardless of the position, the view, we're in this together. And it's really, really important that each one stays with what they know to be true and really stand in that. Yeah. Who knows what can happen? However, I feel like it's all a movement of calling us more and more and more to true freedom, to what is truly free, regardless of what can happen. Yeah. So when we come together in this knowing, these are energy fields that we build that has more power, true power, more light. So somehow it's like coming together and empowering each other. And I have no idea, like really this platform that we are just beginning to build, what shape it will take, how it can grow. But I have this feeling like it can grow in many ways and be a place of support and sharing, and many ways it can take it. I wait for it to show how it wants to grow, you know. So with the social media being the way it is, you know, I just felt this definite pull away from Facebook, which I still am dipping into, but this is more of a clean space where it will be kept energetically clean. so that, you know, if you want to open up and share something of yourself, and we will have all kinds of little groups starting in there as well, that people are not going to come and tear you down. You know, the usual habit of sarcasm and one-upmanship and ego struggle and all this kind of thing that's happening on Facebook is not going to be welcome in that space. So in that way, it's a space where, you know, we can create a space based on the frequencies of love. And the recognition that we truly are one, you know. Imagine a world where we could move as one, that we could treat each other like you are the same one. Imagine a world where we would treat the other as we want to be treated. Yeah. So we don't know how long each one of us has in this body, but while we are walking in this body, what we're going to make it about. If we're living in fear all the time about how we're going to get to, you know, and the fear is here. The fear will come through as what's happening on the display of false power, where we're being more and more controlled and rounded up, and more of our freedom of choice and liberty is being taken away. I really sense that it may get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. And it is a time of innovation and a new world being born, like what we have relied on, what we have, the world that we know before this whole thing, the way that it worked, the way that it is just not going to, you know, and we don't know then how to move forward. We just don't know. So we're really, really at home in not knowing, you know, because this is the truth. We don't know. We never did know. But we thought we did, right? So we're really now brought to walk on the razor's edge of this moment, one little step at a time, finding balance. How do we just take the next step? How do we move? It's just this walking this razor's edge, you know. And it's walking the razor's edge in the unknown. And the unknown is what we fear the most in our human smallness. You know, the great fear of death is fear of the unknown. We like to know, we like to be able to, you know that we're going to be secure, and it's just not possible, you know. So the only place is really in our true being that we can rely on. This we can rely on. You can rely on it any time, place, anywhere. you can rely on what you truly are deeply. You can rely on any time you stop and drop everything and fall into yourself, you can rely on the doorway into, it appears like a doorway, opens into existential aware beingness. This you can rely on. It's the only thing you can rely on. So if you make more and more and more this your the sanctuary of your being, and from there you get your direction and your answers. Because that's when I respond to questions, it's not that I have the answers like in my Ananta pocket, you know, it's just that the answers come right from there, from here, from the source of which the movement of life arises from. So, if anybody else wants to interact, you can. There is space for one more. It may seem like the one you thought you were, you know, what you thought you could rely on is just breaking down. It may seem like you're being completely redone, you know, and for as long as you stay with what is reliable, there's infinite possibility of what you can access in yourself. And I don't deny that I won't deny that there is a shitstorm going down, you know. It's complete madness that's going on. And that's why ever more and more and more important to come again and again and again to where you are free. To make this like the opportunity of a lifetime, to honor that and make that first place. What will it take in your life for that to be first place? Above all your stories, all your like wants and needs and everything. What will it take for you to come to where you are free and honor that above all else in this lifetime? So if somebody comes in front of you and they have their opinion and they got their position and they you just stay with that inside. You just stay with what you know deeply. You just stay with that. Just stay, you know. Don't even try to convince. Don't even. It's just stay. Just stay. Live and let live. So yeah, we do have other meetings happening, and we have one coming up this Thursday called Truth Heals. And there is a group set up within the platform, a private group. There will be private groups within the platform, and these will probably grow more and more. I have no idea. I'm just wait for it to show the way. But we do have a meeting coming up this Thursday called Truth Heals, and there is a private group for that. And we do, of course, have the Living Awake program. And I'll tell you what my intention long term is, that as this grows and more people can get interested to, or become interested naturally to come together in small group to work together through, like deepening in this, then the Living Awake program, which is a paid for program, as that grows, then the cost of that will come down and down to allow more and more people. And that includes the Truth Heals. So what I look for within these groups is like commitment and dedication. It means that when people come, and I'm happy to do a meeting like this once in a while. But these small groups, it's like going along together, like in a dedicated field. So like these people are coming together and like going along as if in a body of an energy field that's going along in the same commitment that is supportive to the undoing and the deepening of realizing, and the integration of that into the life. So yeah, what I would like, what I envision is that as this grows, then the cost of that will come down and allow for more and more people. Because yeah, I would like to have more and more people dedicating, coming together in a committed and dedicated field. And that is something that comes naturally and by itself, in the same way that I am dedicated, I dedicate myself to show up fully, and to whoever I'm working with or meeting, to be used to facilitate deepening. That's how it works. So let's close the eyes a moment. Om Shanti. I thank you for your presence. And this is what we must join in. Stay present while the shit goes down. And stand for what is true for you. Yeah. See you soon. Ciao.